Well, good morning and welcome to the new Ordway Gardens. It's very excited to have you all here today. My name is Michelle Furr. I'm the Director and Campus Manager for Como Park Zoo and Conservatory. And when we start planning events and we look at calendars over a year ago for our opening, I imagined a 65-day day and beautiful skies and the green grass, but Mother Nature had a whole nother plan for us that all of you are aware of. But actually, one of the principles or design guidelines for this exhibit was for us to be able to share the garden and our world-renowned bonsai collection year-round. And this is being tested today so that all of you can enjoy it with the winter and the snow behind us, which actually makes a very lovely backdrop to our Japanese garden. The completion of this project caps a piece of our master plan that's been there for over 30 years, and we're very excited to have you here today and those who were in part of the process of supporting us. And two of those that were very instrumental in getting this off the ground and happening today is Russ and Nancy Nelson, and I'm going to ask them to come up and say a few words.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm Nancy Nelson. I'm the Vice Chair of the Como Friends Board, and I am really happy to welcome you all here today. As Michelle said, I think it's a real tribute to the design of this, that we have a day where you can see it is really accessible in all kinds of weather. And of course, the spring will be beautiful, but we are thrilled to welcome you to this, to open the gardens, the Ordway Gardens, for you to enjoy, for everybody to enjoy. And of course, one of the wonderful things about Como is that it is free and it is accessible to everybody. And that is due to the fabulous donations that we have received from many individuals and corporations and foundations to make this possible. So we are grateful to everybody for your contributions and understanding that this was a way to realize a dream, to be able to display these beautiful bonsais and to have a much more accessible entrance to the Japanese garden, which will make it possible for more people to enjoy. So I'd like you to meet my co-chair, one of my co-chairs. Litfield was the other co-chair of the campaign, and my husband, Russ Nelson, was another important co-chair on the campaign, and we helped to raise the private dollars and to make this happen. So this was totally done through private donation, and we're grateful for that. So Russ is my husband, and he always has things to say. So.
Do I get that? Well, thank you and welcome everybody. This is really, truly a great day to celebrate. Before I introduce John and Marla Ordway here in just a minute, I happen to be chatting with Carol Hansen here, whose mother, Reiko, you all knew, and who's very involved in the Nagasaki-St. Paul sister city relationship, 60 years coming up here in 2015, and hearing about the designer, the Japanese man, Masami Matsuda, and Carol worked with him. I just have to share a little bit of that anecdote I just heard when he was training her how to move the stones. You have to get the face of it just right. I mean, there's a lot of care and love out here and tradition, and you're gonna go, wow. And at one point there was a crane out there and a 60-ton rock that he looked up and he said, move it, because it wasn't placed right. And I just wanted to share that because all of this is about connections and stories and commitments, and in this case, different cultures that have come together to celebrate their relationship, and so I wanted to just share that briefly. Nancy highlighted the fact that this design was really needed because one of the key detriments to a beautiful and lovely garden was its lack of accessibility, and there wasn't a place also to exhibit the bonsai. So we have that now, and we will have sun, and we will have 60-degree weather, and we will be able to walk through and really enjoy it in its full splendor. Although, as Carol reminded me, it's also quite beautiful in the snow. So it's beautiful either way, but it'll be more accessible soon. So good friends, John and Marla on Como Friends Board too, and the family, the Ordway family, have been so generous in making this initially happen and continuing on with their support. And I was asking John ahead of time about Charlotte Partridge, which was your grandmother, who was a great gardener and loved gardens up in White Bear and elsewhere, and was instrumental in making this happen initially, and the continued support and care by the Ordways is much appreciated. And that's enough from me. John and Marla, please come up.
Well, thanks, Russ. despite the weather, it's really, Marla and I are really excited to be here today for this event. It's a great day. It's a very different day, obviously, from the beautiful, sunny, warm fall day of September 1979, when I first had the opportunity to attend the dedication and ribbon cutting for the Japanese garden. It was, and at that time we were joined by Mayor George Latimer for the ribbon cutting. And then 5 years later, in 1984, when our first son was just an infant in his baby stroller, we were here again with Mayor Latimer and met the designer, Masami Matsuda. And he was back in St. Paul, or we welcomed him back to St. Paul, as he was here to inspect the garden to see how it had fared over the first 5 years and to make recommendations for improvements going forward, improvements that were ultimately made over the next 8 years. Now here we are a generation later. Our infant son turns 30 next year. Marla is now on the board of Como and has been for many years, and now we're joined by Mayor Coleman for another ribbon cutting dedication for the newest venue here at Como. My family's formal involvement or connection, I guess, with the Japanese garden started back in 1978, when my father and his 4 sisters made a gift of a garden in honor of their mother, my grandmother, Charlotte Partridge Ordway, as Russ just mentioned. And they chose to honor her memory because she was just her love of gardening. She had fantastic gardens, spectacular gardens at her home in White Bear, and she was a founding member of the St. Paul Garden Club, which still thrives today. In fact, my mother was a longtime member of the Garden Club. Marla's been a longtime member of the Garden Club. They both served as presidents of the organization. Marla continues to serve on the Garden Club and is very active with it, both locally and nationally. Over the years, our family has continued to support improvements to the Japanese garden as well as other initiatives here at Como. When my father first learned of the concept to build this beautiful link here between the gardens and the conservatory, he enthusiastically got on board and was willing to make a lead gift to help make this thing happen that we're celebrating today. Our family has really enjoyed working with other families like the McNeelys, the Husses, the Nelsons, to just improve the facilities here and to have them succeed and do well for their audience of the 21st century. The Conservatory is obviously a Minnesota treasure. It's going to be celebrating its 100th anniversary in 2 years in 2015. It's really a landmark destination that I think just about every Minnesota family, or every Minnesotan, I should say, has memories of visiting at some point in their lives, and it's such a strong element to the state's rich arts and cultural heritage. So that's really all I have to say. Again, I wish the weathermen had been a little more cooperative today. We could have maybe had some of these ceremonies outdoors, like I think was originally planned. But nevertheless, Marla and I are thrilled to be here to represent the Ordway family and to be part of this ribbon cutting dedication of the new Ordway Gardens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John and Marla. It means a lot to this community. And it means a lot to this community and to this state and to this place that we have a mayor who has been extremely supportive of all things Como. And so I'd like to introduce Mayor Coleman.
Thanks, Nancy. I do want to just personally thank you and Russ again for your incredible generosity with your time. Your tireless work to make this possible is above and beyond the call of duty. and you are so good at it. I just asked Mike, what's the next project that we're going to get you, the two of you, engaged in? So, and of course to the Ordway family for your continuous and just deep generosity to the city of St. Paul. You know, we're talking about the weather. It goes without saying, this is not right. But the beauty of Como and the beauty of the Conservatory has always been, this is the respite. This is the place where you go when you just need that break, to go into the gardens, to come in and feel that humidity and how wonderful it is to see something green that is just kind of refreshing and lifts our spirits in the depths of the winter. We just usually don't think that that's going to be in the middle of April. We're so glad for everyone that participated in this. We're so glad for the donors. You know, I hope that people really do just take a moment to pause at the donor wall here. There are so many folks in this community that have given large gifts and small gifts. There are several that have given anonymously. I'll take credit for the anonymous gift over 100,000. I'll give council members Brenmo and Stark, they can have the anonymous gifts under, I think, $100 or something. But you don't have to thank me. Really, it's just what I do. But really, what this does is it just continues to make sure that Como Park, that the Conservatory is one of the great gifts that we have given to the people of not only the city of St. Paul, not even the state of Minnesota, but to the entire country, because people come from all over the country, if not all over the world, to come and see this beautiful facility. It's iconic, it's glorious under any condition, and now we have just made it even better. And so for all of you that have participated in our great staff, our great foundation support, this is just really, truly amazing. Thank you all for being a part of the next chapter in the future, in Como, and of the Conservatory, and of this beautiful city. Thank you very much.
1, 2, 3. Yay!